All right, good morning. Officially, we are ready to roll at 9 a.m. If you'll take roll call, please, Deborah.
Certainly. Mayor Brooke,
Here.
Vice Mayor Carter,
Present.
Commissioner Sarah, Commissioner Vignola. Here, okay. Commissioner Simmons.
Here. If everybody would please rise and join us in a moment of silence. Thank you. This morning we have with us a representative from the Senior Advisory Group, Elaine O'Neill. Is Elaine here to join us in the pledge? If you'd come on up to the mic. Good morning, Elaine.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Elaine. Next is recognitions. Our first one will be a proclamation for National Community Planning Month in 2019. Commissioner Sarah, would you like to join me?
Julie Krolak will be coming down.
All right. Great. Perfect. Good to see you, Sean. Got some amazing planners here. Nice to see you all. Hey, Julie, how are you? Good morning. Good morning. Hello, Paul. Give you some background on this proclamation. The National American Planning Association has declared the month of October as National Community Planning Month. Each year, APA, its members, chapters, and divisions sponsor National Community Planning Month to raise the visibility of the important role of planners and planning in communities across the United States. Our department includes 11 planners, 2 administrative staff, and during the last year, the division has processed over 32 site plans for new development and redevelopment, more than 3,800 building permits. You guys a little tired? And which is awesome. And managed $1.5 million grant funds in fiscal year 2019. Thank you guys for what you do day in and day out. You are a big part of why this community is so beautiful and so many people just love living here. So thank you and congratulations. So I'm going to have Commissioner Sarah read the proclamation and come on over to Julie.
I'd just like to echo what Mayor Brooks said. Just in the short 3.5 months that I've been on the commission, I've witnessed your great work. So on behalf of all of our residents and my personal family, thank you for what you do. Yes. So on behalf of Coral Springs, which you're very familiar with, we have National Community Planning Month. Community planning helps manage the constant change that affects cities by providing better choices for how people work and live. The American Planning Association and the American Institute of Certified Planners endorse this month as an opportunity to highlight the contributions, sound planning, and implementation made to the quality of our environment. We extend our heartfelt thanks for the continued commitment to public service. Therefore, we, the City Commission of Coral Springs, Florida, proclaim October 2019 as National Community Planning Month. Congratulations.
No, just thank you. We do appreciate it. Our team is one of the hardest working teams in the city for sure. And if I could just let them each introduce themselves and their titles for you. Sure, I'm sure they love that.
Oh, yes. Hello, I'm Casey Lee, City Forester.
Good morning, I'm Luz Vicentini, Senior Planner.
Alex Nautamaker, Senior Planner.
Good morning, Carla Jackson, Housing Specialist.
Good morning, Peter Germain, Assistant Planner.
Niara, Community Development and Housing Coordinator.
Lorena Bell, Associate Planner.
Chris Sennison, Chief Planner.
Paul Carpenter, Transportation Planner.
A little tighter.
Lots of planning.
Susie. You going to be able to get us all in? Yes. All right.
You're going to fall in the pool, John.
Have the next one.
Captain Ryan Gallagher will come up and have someone from Women in Distress.
Great. Thank you. Good morning, Larry.
Checkmate.
So our next proclamation is for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And if I could have the Captain Ryan Gallagher come join us, as well as the recipient. From Women in Distress, we have with us Lisa Larmond, the supervising attorney for Women in Distress.
Bye-bye.
Captain, how are you? Good to see you. Good morning. How are you? So to share with you a little bit of information about domestic violence awareness, domestic violence, a pattern of abusive behavior in any relationship, is not only physical, but can also be mental, psychological, financial, or emotional abuse. According to the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence, on average, nearly 20 people per minute are physically abused by an intimate partner in the United States. During 1 year, this equates to more than 10 million women and men becoming victims of domestic violence. In Broward County, family violence threatens child is the most common call received on the Florida Abuse Hotline. While crime in Florida has reduced overall, the number of domestic violence cases and the severity of those cases, unfortunately, have increased at an alarming rate, especially here in Broward County. Women in Distress of Broward County has been serving survivors of domestic violence and their families for over 40 years. It's critical to provide individuals with education about healthy relationships and to change attitudes that support violence. Should not be that way. We in the city of Coral Springs urge everyone to respond and work towards ending domestic violence in our city by helping in our efforts to empower victims and accessing the resources they need. And I'm going to share even more importantly and initially to invite them to speak up and to speak out. And if you happen to see or know somebody that you suspect may be a victim of domestic violence, silence is not okay. I deal with domestic violence on a regular basis in my practice. Our officers deal with it on a regular basis here in Coral Springs, and Women in Distress support as much as they can so many victims, and we need to do something differently. So I'd like to give you this proclamation. For Domestic Violence Awareness Month, domestic violence touches the lives of Americans of all ages, leaving a devastating impact on families of every background and circumstance. During this month, Coral Springs officials urge all to respond to and work towards ending violence within our homes and our community. Therefore, we, the City Commission of Coral Springs, proclaim October 2019 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month. You're very welcome. Would you like to say a few words,
Yes,
please?
thank you. Good morning. Women in Distress actually marked 45 years in serving the community of Broward County as well as Coral Springs. And we provide services through emergency shelter, counseling, support groups, as well as other enrichment activities that usually our survivors may need assistance in funding for. As was stated, I am the IFP injunction attorney for the legal project. Many of you may not know, but Women in Distress added that legal project to their services about 2.5 years ago. And what we do is we provide free legal services to survivors of domestic, dating, sexual violence, and stalking. So although Women in Distress is a domestic violence center, with this project, we've been able to extend and expand our services to those who have suffered violence, even though it may not qualify as an intimate partner case. So So we believe that was a more comprehensive way to provide legal services, even though most of our cases, I would say 75% are still domestic violence. And so with that, I would like to thank the City of Coral Springs for continuing to support women in distress and to continue to refer survivors to us, because this is a very well-needed service, and all of the services provided women in distress. Thank you.
So with 20 years in law enforcement, I've seen it a lot. Domestic violence affects a lot of people, and they got caught up in the cycle of violence and don't know how to get out. And whether that be because they feel dependent on somebody, or they have a child in common and they're stuck there and they're stuck in a dangerous relationship. The Coral Springs Police Department, we obviously will investigate criminal activity. If you call the police department, we'll also refer you. We have these resources, as we've heard here today. There's 800 numbers. We have victim advocates. We have information on restraining orders. There's plenty of resources out there available for people so that they know that there is an alternative or a way out. So thank you.
Our next proclamation is for Fire Prevention Week. So if I can have the chief and any of your representatives come on up.
We have a special proclamation for Fire Prevention Week. The City of Coral Springs is committed to ensuring the safety and security of all those living and visiting our city. As we proclaim Fire Prevention Week, we encourage residents to take personal steps to increase fire safety in the community. Remember that not every hero wears a cape. Plan and practice your escape. Therefore, we, the City Commission of Coral Springs, Florida, proclaim the week of October 6th through the 12th as Fire Prevention Week, signed by the mayor and the commissioners. Congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. One of the most important things that we can do is partner with the community and keeping the community safe. And that's what Fire Prevention Week's all about, is getting out into the community. And actually the whole month of October, we practice that. Making sure that the community knows what to do in a time of emergency. Captain Alcalde is going to give us a couple words of what our programs are about. But before we do that, I want to recognize all of our members that are standing here today, representing our department for all the hard work and effort they put forth every day. Also, you see that they're wearing pink shirts. That's because the Coral Springs Parkland Fire Department recognizes cancer prevention in the month of October. On October 26th at Station 80, we'll be having our annual pasta dinner fundraiser. Please come out. It's a great time. We raise money for cancer prevention and also for our member benevolence. So we hope to see everybody there.
Good morning. My name is Captain Alcalde. I'm with the Coral Springs Fire Department Community Risk Reduction Division. As previously mentioned, the Fire Prevention Week is October 6th through the 12th. And the motto this year is, not every hero wears a cape, plan and practice your escape. Basically, what that means to us is, in your home, you need to map it out, make sure that you and your family have two ways out of any room or area in the house. Make sure your smoke alarms are working, have one on each level and one in each room. And also have a meeting place once you get outside, designate a meeting place so the whole family can meet there, so that once our fire crews get there, they know exactly if anybody is missing, what to do or where to go. Call 911 from the outside. Don't wait inside and call 911 while you're inside the building that's on fire. And make sure you practice this. The plan does not work unless you practice. And also, when you're outside the home, when you're in a shopping center, restaurant, movie, or any area that is not your home, when you arrive, look for multiple exits, like we have one here on each side. Most people will go, in case of an emergency, they will go directly to the door that they came in, but that will probably get overcrowded or be blocked for any reason. Make sure you know your alternate exits when you're at anywhere outside. And please remember that not every hero wears a cape. Plan and practice your escape, and that's our motto for this year. Thank you.
So I just want to say thank you for the work you guys do day in and day out. Our community feels and is very safe, and thank you for all the sacrifice that you make and your families. Thank you so much.
My friend? There's no hurricane I see. This is nice. Boys. This is the ultimate one right here. Isn't it?
I'll do that. Thank you.
Is this because? Excellent. Yeah. I'll go right into this.
Next, we have a presentation regarding Savor the Springs Restaurant Week by Christy Bartlett. Good morning.
Wait and pull up the website. So we wanted to find a way to reach out to local restaurants and highlight them in the community, and a lot of other communities do a restaurant week, particularly when it's off-season. So this is the first year that we decided to do it. We've got 29 restaurants signed up already. Restaurant week will be October 11th through the 20th. So we have 2 weekends within there, and the restaurants are offering either a prefix menu, a discount, or a specialty menu. So if you go on the EDO website, you can go to click on Savor the Springs, and it will pull up the Savor the Springs website. And restaurants can sign up online. We've been doing outreach to them, calling and actually pounding the pavement. You and Deanna in my office have visited probably over 40 restaurants trying to get them to participate.
Great.
So here's the website right here. We've got the menus, and we also have the websites for the different restaurants. We're asking them to put a menu template that we put together and put that on there. So we've got a couple of them on there already, and it looks like this. This is El Mariachi. They have a nice prefix menu. Melting Pot does as well. I think this is John the Baker. So hopefully we'll get all those menus up there by the end of the week, and once we do that, we are going to issue a press release, but we wanted to wait until we had more of the menus on there. We have these really cool window clings that all the restaurants that are participating can put in their windows or on their doors. We also have these cards that we're using for residents to put them out and let them know restaurant week, which restaurants are participating, asking them to tag us on social media with Savor CS or tag us at Coral Springs EDO. Communications and marketing have been phenomenal. They've gone out and actually been to the restaurants taking pictures of them in action, whether they're serving or they're cooking, and we're putting those on our Instagram and Facebook pages too. So please, and we encourage you to dine out. We have a ton of cards in my office. If you want to come by and pass them out anytime you're out in the community, please do so.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for the work you're doing. So that's October 11th to the 20th, and looking forward to sampling a few of the restaurants. Okay, next we have public comment. Is there any signed speakers?
Yes, Mayor, we have one signed speaker, Angel Gomez.
Hi there, Angel.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mayor. Good morning, Coral Springs. Angel Gomez, Office of Governmental Affairs, School Board of Broward County. Just coming to say hello, reminding you that I'm a phone call away from you guys. You guys have been very quiet. I guess you're talking to people higher than me. But feel free to call me if you have any questions. A couple of things to remind you. Not only are you guys having the Savor Springs, October 11th through the 20th, but National School Lunch Week is the week of October 14th. So you should be receiving at some point information in regards to which cafe would you like to dine in regards to the schools. So feel free to join the students and the teachers and the principal for lunch at one of your many schools during School Lunch Week. We should put that on that website as one of the restaurants. And this body is made of school lunch. I'm just letting you know that. And also on October 30th, in partnership with the MPO, we are observing what today is, which is National Walk Bike to School Day. We're observing it on the 30th of this month, and there'll be a couple of elementary schools in your city who will be participating, and we're sending information to you guys, so feel free to join us that morning. Join the principal, the students, and the families in your community to walk to school or bike to school, your choice, whatever you want to do that day. Thank you again for your partnerships, for your partnership with the school district. You guys are a hub of education as a city, and we don't take it for granted. We appreciate. I know you don't need me or anybody to keep those partnerships going. I know you're in direct contact with the schools, but if there's anything that I can do on behalf of the superintendent and the school board, please, I'm just a phone call away. Okay?
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Good to see you. Any other speakers? Cindy, you want to come on up? Good morning.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Cindy Brief. I'm the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, and I'm happy to see all of you this morning. I see Commissioner Carter is wearing pink like me because we have our Professional Women's Alliance luncheon today, which we are going to be speaking about breast cancer. But the real reason I'm here is I want to talk about a fantastic program that the Chamber is doing with the partnership of the Economic Development Office. It's called the Biz Academy, and it's going to start in November. And we are going to be having classes for businesses in our city at a very reasonable price. It's $5 if you're a member of the Chamber and $10 if you're not. And it's a series of 6 classes. Some of the classes are, I'll just give you some of the names. They're the first Thursday of the month. So starting in November, we have How to Win the Room. Then we have Ditch the Dread, Learn About Public Speaking Instead, which Commissioner Carter has helped us with. The Art of the Start, we're going to have representatives from Broward County as well as someone in the city teaching businesses how to register online to do business with the county and the city. We're also going to be doing something on workplace learning with Jack Bennings from the Alliance will be one of the speakers. And an interesting one, it's what the doctor ordered. Everything you need to know about medical marijuana in the workplace. This is a very topical discussion right now. And also finally ending in disaster planning, where we'll have representatives from emergency management departments to get businesses ready, as well as cybersecurity. So this is an amazing thing that the Chamber and the Economic Development Office does together, and I encourage businesses in our city to come, learn, and keep yourself educated and relevant. Thank you, everybody.
Great. Thanks, Cindy. Anybody else would like to be heard for public comment? All right, seeing none, public comment is closed. Public hearings, there are none. Consent. Is there consent?
Move it. Second.
All right, any discussion on consent? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Carries unanimously. Next, we have policy formation and direction, number 9, ordinance 2019-117, second reading, amending Chapter 2, Administration, Article 2, Code of Ethics.
Thank you, Mayor. This is ordinance 2019-117, an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coral Springs, Florida, amending Chapter 2, Administration, Article 2, Code of Ethics of the Code of the City of Coral Springs, providing for codification, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. Request to approve and adopt on second reading. Public hearing has already occurred.
Okay, is there a motion?
Motion. Second.
Moved by Vice Mayor Carter, seconded by Commissioner Simmons. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Next is number 10, professional services for renovation, redesign, and repurposing of the West Side Maintenance Facility. It's a request to approve amendment of $39,800 to agreement for LOI 18-A-002 for professional services for renovation, redesign, and repurposing of the West Side Maintenance Facility, Fire Training Academy, and Police Firing Range, Phase 1, to CPZ Architects, Inc. of Plantation, Florida, in an amount not to exceed $1.526888. This is a request to approve the amendment of $39,800. There a motion? Oh, discussion.
Mayor,
Presentation by Chief, I'm
yes.
sorry.
Mayor, I just wanted to take this opportunity to bring the commission up to speed on what's going on with that project and make sure that I can answer any questions that you guys might have. As you know, the West Side Complex is in great need of being redeveloped and reconstructed. With all the options that we explored in the past, we found that site to be very tight. Anything we tried to do, Rich has been working on this for many years, anything we tried to do out there was just very constrictive. So in August of 2017, the property located at 4150 120th Ave became available for purchase, and this property is a very good fit into the West Side campus because it sits to the east of the current Public Works facility and to the south of the Fire Academy and kind of squares off that whole area. So City Manager Goodrum moved forward with the commission in the process of purchasing that building and that property to be able to use that to better align all the business that goes on out there. We took possession of the building in January 2018. Since then, we've been having multiple meetings with many different departments throughout the city. There's 7 different departments that project actually, there's stakeholders within. After we did our due diligence and made sure that it was going to work, we moved forward with the purchasing department to put an RFP out to hire an architect to do the architect engineering and design of the facility. And when Angela was still here, we decided to do what's called a construction manager at risk process. And what that means is you actually bring a construction company on board during the design and development phase of the project so they can weigh in on what we're designing and be able to value engineer what we're trying to do so we get the best product at the most cost-effective price point. So that original contract for CPZ was awarded, and it was just under $1.5 million to do the design of the master plan as well as multiple projects within. So you have the 4150 building, you have the Fire Academy, you have the shooting range, you have the carpenter shop, you have all of this stuff going on out there. So that all needs to be coordinated and designed together, and they were hired to do that. And again, PERDA was hired to weigh in on that during the process. So we completed what is known as design development phase in July, and that's basically the conceptual drawings. What do we want to see? Does everything fit? How does it work? And all of that good stuff. We completed that in July, and then we started the construction documents. When we started doing the construction documents in July, very early on, it was noticed that because there's so many different departments within that building, we were worried about noise contamination. So for example, the city garage is going to be in there. Well, you also have fire administration, fire academy, you have central stores, you have the clerk's storage, you have a lot of different IT, you have a lot of different things going on in there. So they're worried about noise contamination. So the architect, that's outside of the architect's capabilities. So they recommend it, and we agree that we need to bring an acoustical engineer in, and that's what we have before you today is the amendment of the contract to add an acoustical engineer to be able to engineer the building to make sure that the normal work that goes on in that building isn't going to be affected by the noise being produced by the building. If that's awarded today, obviously we'll continue to move on with the construction documents. We expect the construction documents to be done by the end of the year. We also expect to have a better price of what the project is going to cost by the end of the year. So that's kind of where we are with the whole project. That's a real quick overview. Wanted to just take this opportunity to bring you guys up to speed on everything that's going on, and I'll be happy to try to answer any questions.
We really appreciate that. Any question?
I just want to make a comment. I was very happy to see that it'll be hardened for 210 mile per hour winds with the climate changes we've been experiencing, and now they're talking about Category 6 as a category. So I think this is a great idea.
And that's a great point. This building is being built as a critical infrastructure. It will be a hardened building that our staff will be in during a storm. And it is one of the critical infrastructures of the city to keep all the emergency apparatus up and running, to keep all the public works equipment up and running. So that is something that's very
I
important.
know we've been lucky the current one stood.
Any other questions or discussion on this? Okay, may I entertain a motion?
Second.
Moved by Commissioner Vignola, seconded by Vice Mayor Carter. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Carries unanimously. Next is Commissioner Communications. Who would like to go first?
I'll start.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This past weekend, or actually let me go back. 3 years ago, when I showed up wanting to get involved in Coral Springs and kind of learn more of what's going on, I joined 3 committees, and one of those was the Multicultural Advisory Committee. And I found that to be a very delightful and wonderful committee to be a part of, with so many different personalities. But I was able to get a real feel for the people that volunteer and give a lot to this city. One of the main events outside of World Fest was the International Dinner Dance. And for the time that I was actually on the committee, I set up for the dinner dance. I knew when it was coming 2 weeks out. I'd be getting what I'm wearing for the theme ready to go, and I'd talk about it for a week. However, this past weekend, I failed to keep up that streak. In the fast-paced world of my life, because I'm always moving around, I failed to note something of importance to show up to. And so I just want to apologize to the committee, to the staff, to anyone that worked on it that wanted our attendance. And I know that I was not there due to a lack of just not paying attention to everything. And so I will say, again, I apologize. I will do my best to make sure I'm there next year. So please charge it to my mind and not my heart. The Multicultural Advisory Committee, they did a great job from what I saw from the pictures and the entertainment. And so, I just wanted to say that. And the last thing I'll say is thank you to the members of our military, their families, our first responders, and anyone that's fighting to fix any injustice or right any wrongs in this world, because we know constantly darkness is creeping into our lives. And so there are people every day fighting to make people's lives better. So I just want to say thank you to everyone doing that.
Very nice, Josh. Who'd like to go next? Vice Mayor?
Sure. So I just want to remind everybody that the Senior Health Fair is coming up on October 16th from 9 to 12. It's free. There's freebies, and there's prizes. So I definitely encourage you to attend. I've even personally gotten a lot of benefits from attending in the past. Also want to remind you, if you have important documents, protecting your identity is critical. We have an opportunity for you to bring in 3 boxes to be shred Saturday the 5th. Saturday the 5th is a big day around here. 9 to 11 out at the Sportsplex. We also have a hazardous waste collection. Clean out your garage, get rid of those paint cans and all those things that you don't need anymore, and you don't have to schlep them a long ways. It's the waste transfer station, and that will be from 9 to 2. And lastly, please do support our local businesses. It is very, very important. That's how they stay here. The mayor and I attended an opening last night of a new business, vegan makeup. Vigo Glam, right?
Yep.
Vigo Glam, yes. And interesting. I hope you'll notice things in the future. No, I'm thrilled that we get new businesses in the city. Thank you, Christy, and you for your efforts. And just please support the local businesses in your Friday happy hours, your Wednesday happy hours, whenever you want to, and your weekend dining choices. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Excellent. You're welcome. And Christy and you and Horace, it was great to see all of you at the ribbon cutting yesterday. I think it makes an extra special flavor to have you there, and it was nice to share that with you all. Who'd like to go next? Commissioner Vignola.
Just want to talk about Coral Springs Fire Department's hosting this year's Cancer Awareness Pasta Dinner on Saturday, October 26th from 4 to 8 p.m. at Fire Station 80 on Coral Springs Drive. The event's open to the public, and for a $5 donation, you'll get a generous portion of pasta, salad, bread, and a drink. All the food is made by our firefighters, including our own fire chief, Chief Babbitt. It's a great event. Come out and enjoy. The lines seem to get longer almost every single year. Even when it's pouring rain, people are lined up. But it's a great event. With that, if anyone would like to speak with me about any issue in the city, my cell phone number is 954-632-7544.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Sarah.
Just wanted to go back to mid-September, congratulate the team from Parks and Recreation on the ribbon cutting that we had at the Sportsplex. It's pretty cool to see all the turf fields being launched in the city, and I'm getting some tremendous feedback from the schools that are using them, and then on top of that, our residents. One of the things I've always been pretty passionate about is like a succession plan. And I've been very impressed by one of the emails that went out kind of talking to the volunteer employee retirement incentive plan. I noticed that we're going to be losing some pretty special people over the next year and a half, but I'm very proud that the city's got forward thinking on this and not only, developing people within, but know that we've got a big challenge of filling some big shoes. So kudos to our staff on that. Just wanted to celebrate the $5.3 million worth of grants that were awarded to the city. I want to congratulate and thank all of the staff that worked incredibly hard on that. It was a very thorough report that Catherine sent out, and we appreciate everyone's work. Angel Gomez mentioned that we got Walk to School Day on October 30th with Park Springs Elementary in Westchester. Hopefully we'll have a lot of people participating. This past week on September 25th, we had Dad take your children to school day. I wish I could still participate in them, but they're very much grown and don't want me walking them anywhere. And the last thing I just wanted to say is I was at Tamarack and I saw the coolest thing on the wall. And kudos to our sister city, but they had this Century Club for seniors where once you turn 100, you have like a special picture and you get your place in City Hall. So I'll be bringing that up at our strategic planning meeting here in the next couple of weeks. If any residents need to get a hold of me, my cell phone number is 954-612-7114, or you can contact Randy, who is always very reliable in getting her messages to me. Thank you.
Thank you. For those of you in the audience and at home that celebrate the Jewish New Year, I wish you a good and sweet New Year and your family. I'm asking my fellow colleagues to support the Food for All Mayor's Pledge. Randy shared it with all of you before today. The purpose of it is to increase awareness by issuing a public statement about the benefits of access to healthy foods for all residents, and the important role that urban design and urban agriculture can play in promoting community food security, equity, physical activity and health, environmental sustainability, job creation, and economic development. We'll be working with residents, community organizations, and public and private partners to promote policies, programs, and services that expand access to healthy foods and increase the availability of locally sourced food. Orly had been a speaker 1 or 2 meetings ago and asked for our support for this pledge. And a little bit about Food for All for Broward. It's an initiative to expand access to healthy foods for residents of all ages, abilities, cultural, and economic backgrounds. And I believe they have 14 cities now in Broward County signed up. So I'd love to have your support to be able to sign off on the pledge. May I? Yes? Okay. Thank you very much. I have office hours every Friday in October this month, and I'm full this Friday, so if you have other desires to share with me, other questions, comments, please call Randy at 954-344-5906. If you need me and I haven't responded to your email, there are many emails I unfortunately haven't responded to. Call me, please, 696-7599. And I just want to join Joy in the sentiments about the businesses, support our local businesses. We're doing a great job getting new businesses in. I think I'm attending an average of 1 or 2 ribbon cuttings a week these days, and probably for like the last 8 to 12 weeks. So we're doing something right, and on behalf of the entire City Commission, our employees throughout our city are second to none. You guys do a fantastic job every day, and you make our jobs very, very easy. So that's the end of my communications. Anybody have anything to add? Joshua?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say this Saturday, Oktoberfest. as the reigning Stein holding champion. I want to make sure that you all come out and attend. It's from 2 to 10. And so it's a really great event. It's very nice to have that here in Coral Springs. So I hope you all can come out. It's also my sister's birthday, so I have a very, very, very long day ahead of me. But I'm really excited to see all of my colleagues there in the city there. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right, you bet. Anybody else? Okay, we are on to city manager's communication.
Mayor, if I can defer mine until after the city attorney communication.
Sure, absolutely. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Mayor. We have two items under city attorney. First is the opioid litigation discussion. So as this city's very aware, there's been a nationwide opioid crisis. We've had a task force for several years. Many cities have sued in class action lawsuits. We, as all cities and counties in the United States, are included in that lawsuit, which currently is in federal court in Ohio. Recently, we've been approached by a couple law firms to ask if we would like to file a separate lawsuit, which would be filed in the Southern District, the federal court, and removed to Ohio. There may be some advantages to doing that, depending on what happens with the class action lawsuit that we're automatically included to. It allows us to opt out. So we're continuing to ask some questions of those law firms to see what, if any, advantages there would be. We plan on bringing it back to you in 2 weeks, so I just wanted to give you the heads up on that.
Great, thank you.
The second item reminds me of someone once told me that as an adult, you'll have some long days, you'll have some long weeks, but you'll never have a long year. Doesn't seem that long ago that I was up for review, and here we are again. Reflecting on it, we've seen tremendous change in the city, and particularly in the city commission, right? A year ago, tragically, we lost our mayor suddenly. We had a commissioner elected twice, so he had a brief stay here, and now he's up at the state. So we had, as Deborah is well aware, we've had 3 elections. We were fortunate to have tremendous candidates. We were fortunate to have an energized commission as we move forward. In the agenda, I've listed some of the accomplishments of my office. It talks about city attorney significant accomplishments, but anyone that knows me or my office, it's the people I hired that are the tremendous people that help us with these accomplishments, along with the city manager's office and his staff. Mayor, you just said it. We do have the best employees, and if you go to other cities, and I do, the culture here and the enthusiasm here is second to none. And Mike even comments on it from his previous place. So looking through it, we're in-house, which is, there's 2 ways to go, in-house or outside. And what we're able to do, because we're in-house, we're able to collect a lot of money back because we're not billing hourly. So you'll see in some of the accomplishments, we have received $300,000 in forfeiture, $270,000 in subrogation. And what's also unique about our office is we have risk management under our office. A lot of times it's in another department. But Mayor, as you know, with workers' comp being a big part of risk management and subrogation, by able to do it in-house, we're able to bring in that type of money. We've also obtained 41 risk protection orders, and again, because we're in-house, we did not have to increase our budget to do that. So we also have an outside fund account, and we were able to be under over $85,000 in that. So what we've developed there, and you know some of my younger attorneys, are now doing most of the litigation in-house. So that's been a great savings. So you'll see those accomplishments, and I'm here just to be reviewed, and thanks for a great year.
Yeah, thank you. Commissioner Vignola.
I'll start off with a motion. I'll make a motion that we rate him as substantially exceeds expectations. If we can get
I'll second that motion.
There you go. So I just want to talk a little bit about John. I mean, John's kind of like an advisor to everybody. 9 years I've been working here with you, and it seems like everybody goes to you for everything. You're like the guy that everyone trusts and knows. Some of the words you describe, your integrity, your honesty, your professionalism, your availability, your trustworthiness. I think like all that's great and awesome, and we love it, but I think the fact that you genuinely love your job and what you do rubs off on everybody in the organization, including your department, and you see them take on those same traits that I just used to describe you. The city attorney's job, for those of you watching, is really paramount to the success of the city and the organization, and I could not think of anybody who could do a better job than you, John. I'm very grateful to have spent the last 9 years working with you and making sure that we do everything here on the up and up. Yeah, I guess that's
Milo thing, but honestly, thank you for everything you do for our city. So.
Thank you. Great comments. Any other discussion on the dais? Vice Mayor?
It is a privilege to work with you and your department, and any employer would be foolish not to want somebody in their organization that saves them money. Thank you so much for all that you do for the city. You and your staff are very, very impressive. I won't repeat what Larry said because those words are perfect to describe you.
Excellent. Further discussion on the dais? All right. I'm much better in-house than out-house. You do a great job, and I have high expectations, and you still exceed my expectations. And it's great to be working with you again. Really appreciate it. All right. All in favor of the motion? Mike, did you want to share anything just yet? Or
no,
wait
sir,
till
I
you-
won't.
What is the motion?
Substantially exceeds expectations. And I would just note that my contract has a percentage that's higher than the general employees, and if that's the motion you pass, I would ask it to be no higher than what the general employees' number is, which is a few percentages lower than that.
We really appreciate
Very
that.
fair.
That's very kind of you. Yes, so there's a motion on the floor and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
Absolutely.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, carries unanimously. Thank you again,
Thank you
JJ.
all.
Great job. All right, back over to you, Mike.
Yeah, just want to congratulate Mr. Hearn on your evaluation. I'll say, I say this all the time. I tell people, I think one of our big competitive advantages as a city is having John Hearn as our attorney. When you look at his staff and the quality of them, and you can just compare our budget to other cities our size, and staffing is tremendous what they're able to do. So I just want to congratulate you and your staff, and you are brilliant, and y'all do an amazing job. Congratulations, and I always enjoy working with you.
And that reminds me, since I practice law for a living and I know how much we can charge on an hourly rate, you're a bargain.
Thank you.
And a great value to our city.
Have to
on top of
reconsider
that.
my
And thank you to all your staff as well for being
They're
such great
fantastic.
support.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, anything further, Mike? All right, we are adjourned. Our next regular meeting is on Wednesday, October 16th at 6:30. Have a great day, everyone.
Is we're paying.